Howdy folks, I'm Strident AITA, swiftly sailing through serene skies.
I'm Amber.
And here are more serene skies for us to swiftly sail through, because that's what we do as Sagittarius's first part.
Well, an arrow.
An arrow, it's half of Sagittarius, the arrow part. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Grounding My Daughter for Ruining Our Vacation? My husband, daughter, 15, stepkids, 13 and 16, and I just came back from a 2-week vacation. My daughter is very smart and is very good at a lot of things. She's also very competitive. My husband is also very competitive. My daughter started off this vacation by telling my husband that there was a Sudoku on the plane and explaining how to play. He didn't know that she's been playing Sudoku for months, and she made a bet with him that if she could finish the hardest level first, he would buy her Wi-Fi for the flight, and if he finished first, she would share a bed with his younger daughter on the trip. His younger daughter was complaining about sharing with the oldest because she kicks and sleeps in the middle of the bed. She beat him and pestered him until he bought her the Wi-Fi. When we got there, she challenged him to races on land and in the pool. She's won a medal at state track meets and has been swimming since she was 2. Every day, she's challenged him to something, win, and then he would have to buy her something from the resort or local shops. My husband was getting sick of losing, and my stepdaughters were upset that their dad was buying her stuff and not them, so I told my daughter that she either couldn't compete with her stepdad or she had to let him win. She decided to tell her stepdad that she wasn't allowed to compete with him anymore because he couldn't handle losing. This made them start to argue, so I told her if she kept this up, then she would be grounded to the resort for the rest of the trip, a little over a week at this point. She decided to test me, so I stuck to my word, and she was left at the resort while the rest of us went out every day. The vacation was so much more enjoyable without her, turning everything into a competition, but she told her dad when she got back that we grounded her, and she's mad at me now for leaving her there and excluding her from the vacation because my husband couldn't act like an adult. I told him that my daughter was warned to stop, but she decided to test me, and now he's forcing her to stick to the custody schedule. Technically, I have her every other weekend, but he was letting her go back and forth whenever she wanted, and is threatening to go to court for child support and back pay. Am I the jerk for grounding her for ruining the vacation? Alright folks, what do you think?
Yes, major jerk here. OP, your husband is an adult. Your daughter is a child. If your adult husband cannot stop taking the bait from a 16-year-old, maybe he's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, come on here. This guy has the audacity to complain about losing, and then the kids complaining too that she's buying them stuff. Then maybe they could compete with him and beat him at something, right? Like that's all it would take, right? Just beat him at something. Find some weakness in his chain where they just challenge him to some competition, and they can have all the gifts and prizes they want too.
Right, well, they might even have insider knowledge because he's their bio dad, so probably been in their lives longer. But yeah, I just don't understand the reasoning there of, well, my husband is so upset because he's losing all the time and he can't say no for some reason.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ground you to the resort.
And it's not good parenting to I feel like they're like, oh, we had such a great time without her. Why'd you bring her along in the first place if you were just going to basically exclude her from the whole trip?
Well, and the problem is, again, OP's husband sulking like a child when he doesn't win. You had a good time when your husband wasn't sulking. Maybe that's your husband problem.
Yeah. So I think that OP is for sure the jerk. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did sue for custody and got the custody after a story like this.
I mean, why not leave the husband at the resort if he's the real problem in all of this?
Yeah.
Well, and this whole thing about expecting girls to manage men's emotions, that's really not cool, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that really falls under this category where the OP's daughter is expected to cater to his emotional state, and he's an adult, he should have all that mastered anyways, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Wearing an Eclectic Outfit to My Friend's Dinner Party? And Amber, wants to read this one.
I couldn't think of a better word to describe my outfit, and this is a way I've heard others describe my style before. I'm 24, and I don't tend to dress in a way that most people would consider normal. I essentially cosplay / play dress up for my everyday outfits. It's normal for me to dress as a clown one day, a fairy the next, as a steampunk engineer, as a pirate, a fantasy knight with bits of chainmail, and so on. Some days I am just in a t-shirt and jeans or in my pajamas, but it's more common for me to be dressed up. My friends and family are all used to it. No one bats an eye when a moss-covered elf comes to lunch. I've been dressing like this for years, and everyone sees it as my normal. That being said, if someone wants me to dress in a more socially normal way for an event or to go hang out, I'm happy to oblige. Certain things are / aren't appropriate for certain times and places, and I try to respect that and how it affects others. My friend Mindy, 24-year-old female, threw a dinner party the other day. A week or so prior to it, I asked her if there was anything specific I should or shouldn't wear, and she told me no. I asked again 2 to 3 days before, and she told me no clown or pirate, and I said sure. The day of, I dressed in a Gibson S-style dress with elf ears, a pocket watch, and some flowers and crystals as accessories. Honestly, a pretty standard outfit for me. I rolled in, and it was mostly people I knew with some new faces as well. 3 of the new people made comments, most just glanced and carried on, and one asked for a picture, but I told him that probably wasn't very appropriate at Mindy's dinner, but if he took one outside as we were all leaving after dinner, I'd be fine with it. Mindy and I didn't talk much, but I figured she was just busy with the dinner and socializing with others. The next day, I woke up to some seething texts from Mindy about my outfit and how rude I was. I called her because I was confused, and I mentioned that I didn't dress as a clown or a pirate, so I didn't know what was wrong with my clothes, and I asked if by pirate she had meant any historical piece. She yelled that she had meant I needed to dress normally, and it was obvious that that was what she meant. Our friends were dragged into this, and most are on my side, but a few of them have been telling me how horrible I am and calling me an attention-seeking bee, among other names. I didn't realize that's what she meant, and I thought she would have been more direct, but now I'm feeling like a jerk for ruining her dinner party. But I also don't know how much of it really was my fault. Am I the jerk for wearing an odd outfit to my friend's dinner party? Edit. I'm autistic. All of my friends, including Mindy, know this. She has always been very straightforward and specific in her requests over the past 8 years. Edit 2. This wasn't a special event. Mindy throws dinner parties for fun every few weeks. Unless she says a dress code, it's free for all on how to dress. I always double check with her anyways. This is the first time in our friendship that something like this has happened. I'm not the only one in our friend group who dresses like this, just the one who does it the most. Having specific requests isn't new, and in the past has always meant that unless stated, it's free game. I will ask more questions in the future. I do want to state it may feel obvious to others that she meant no costumes, but it didn't to me, since it never has before when it comes to Mindy. It feels like I was told not to wear red or green, and to know that meant no purple, despite lavender being accepted for almost a decade. She has specifically stated before that unless she asks for costumes not to be worn, we can wear them. She has said that if only certain costumes are stated to not be allowed, then we're free to wear any other ones. Not just to me, but to our whole friend group, since I'm not the only one who dresses like this.
All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. And I know that some people who are neurotypical may be thinking about, well, it should be obvious it's not costumes. As an autistic person, if someone were to say to me, don't dress as a clown or a pirate, I would be like, oh, don't dress as a clown or a pirate. I would assume they're singling out these specific costumes because they specifically do not want me to dress as a clown or a pirate. Mine would not be, oh, I can't wear a costume, period.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if there's more to this than what Mindy is actually saying because of the whole, maybe the picture situation. Maybe she's actually was looking at the other guy who she got a picture with, and she got jealous of that situation or something like that. And I mean, these are just wild speculations, but it feels like if Mindy is known that OP is like this and has given them very specific, requests in the past, then it would be pretty obvious to Mindy, I think, that this would have, been like, she's gonna say no clowns or no pirates or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would guess that it has either more to do with something that happened at the party, some of the way some of the guests reacted to OP, or with her just getting tired of OP and wanting an excuse to pick at her.
Yeah, I think like there's something more going on here, and it seems like this is a Mindy problem at a certain point, and that Mindy has an issue, and What that issue is, I don't know, but I think that OP, if they want to salvage this relationship, then they should probably get to the bottom of that. And I think that, again, Mindy's already been pretty much aware of how OP is, and if they are aware of that, and has been a long-standing fine thing for them to do, then I don't see why OP would be in the wrong.
Right. Well, and honestly, like, no matter who you're with, it's always better to have the most straightforward communication so that there's no room for errors. So if you mean no costumes, even if you're talking to neurotypical people, just say no costumes. It's very clear, and you don't have room for people to not get the subtleties because, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't translate well. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk Because I Didn't React Enough to My Husband Asking for a Divorce out of the blue and Now He Is Mad? I'm a 26-year-old female and I was served with divorce papers by my husband, 27-year-old male, about a month ago. I have read them over and asked why, and he told me that he was in love with someone else, his co-worker, and he wanted to marry her. I said okay, and I began the process of moving out. I own a rental property that operates as an Airbnb-like vacation home and began the process of moving there. I took all of my things, including the stuff that I paid for myself, like all of our gaming consoles. I also spoke to one of my colleagues, a 38-year-old male, about having him represent me. I'm a clerk at a law firm, and he has agreed to move forward with preparing for the divorce. My husband contacted me a couple of weeks ago, angry that I had taken all of my things and moved out. He was even more angry that I didn't have an emotional response and didn't fight for him. I explained to him that there was no use in throwing a temper tantrum about a divorce and that I take time to process things. He dismissed me as being cold and unfeeling and said some hurtful things about me, including insulting my appearance, the way that I dress, and my hobbies. I took screenshots and I sent them to my colleague. We had our first hearing a few days ago, and my soon-to-be ex-husband decided to represent himself. After the hearing, he flipped out on me and then demanded why I had become my colleague's client. I told him that I believed my colleague would fight for me, and I trusted him. My soon-to-be ex was very upset and demanded to know why I had chosen an attractive male to represent me, and asked if I was cheating on him with my attorney. I told him that I wasn't sleeping with my colleague, and that it was kind of insulting to accuse me of sleeping with somebody else when he was leaving me for one of his coworkers. He called me some names and said that I was probably paying for my attorney with intimate time. I feel really upset and need to get my feelings off my chest, and I'm following through with the divorce, even though he seems to have somewhat changed his mind about leaving me. Alright, folks, what do you think?
I mean, Opie, it seems like this is a good thing for you. It's just the audacity of this man to be like, I want a divorce, I don't love you anymore, I'm in love with someone else, and then being upset that she's not like groveling at his feet. Like, he has an ego, and his ego is hurting because Opie isn't groveling and fighting for him. I mean, why would Opie still care about a man who has told her, oh yeah, you don't matter to me, I'm just gonna drop you like that?
Yeah, I think that it's really strange to me that he's like, oh, I expected you to fight for me when he's already picked somebody else. He's clearly having an affair, and this is a situation where OP's not going to be like, why fight for someone who's cheating on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that OP is seeing through his games, and I don't think that OP needs to pay attention to his games. Like, he's representing himself in divorce court, which means he's probably going to lose his shirt. And, like, the audacity of claiming that OP is the one who's cheating. Every accusation is a confession from these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is accusing OP of cheating when he himself cheated. He's accusing OP of all these things. These are his feelings about himself, right? He is projecting on OP. And he's upset because he thought that he was going to be able to keep more of his stuff, and that he forgot what OP had actually bought and paid for with their own money, and now he's upset that he's losing the property as opposed to actually OP, it feels like.
Yeah, well, and he may also be realizing that he doesn't have as sweet a deal with the, his coworker now that he doesn't have OP there doing whatever she was doing in the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, he may have expected OP to stick around for a little longer
Mm-hmm.
and to basically help pay for the bills and stuff like that and have a free ride off of her for a little while.
I mean, he just seems like a very egocentric person, and so I wouldn't worry about him and his insults. He's just projecting and he's throwing a temper tantrum because you're not feeding his ego anymore.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck, OP. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice or your jovial Bob sign joke books. And I've got some tea and Amber. She has her jovial Bob sign joke. That was an awkward mess.
Tommy, Dad, last night I dreamed you bought me my own micro with 20 different game cartridges. Father, that's great, Tommy. Go back to sleep and have a good time playing them.
Still not a joke. None of these are computer jokes. They're just like things that jovial Bob's a funny, like almost comic strippy type things, right? Comic strips. They're like comic strips in jovial Bob Sign's head. And I have Mega Mint.
I'm confused what a micro is, but
I don't know what a micro is. I don't think it matters. It's a gaming system, I think. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks!
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please, have it on bets.
Don't keep taking bets from a 16-year-old who keeps beating you.
I mean, that right there. Never make a bet with someone unless you know you can win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.